The core science is that we are looking for mutations or signatures, modifications that have occurred to chromosome fragments called nucleosomes, which are associated with particular cancer types. So we look for mutations to the DNA strands that comprise a nucleosome, and also to the proteins that the DNA surrounds, and also to the tails that connect one nucleosome to the other. So we look for specific signatures or mutations to those chromosome fragments that we believe are cancer-derived and are associated with a particular cancer type. We're really excited about the opportunity in China. We have a Memorandum of Understanding, or a MOU, with Fosun Diagnostics, which is a subsidiary of the Shanghai-based conglomerate Fosun. And we are working with Fosun to look at how our blood tests, we're looking specifically at blood tests for lung cancer and colorectal cancer, how those tests perform on a Chinese population. And the idea is that if we can show strong accuracy or good performance of our blood test with the Fosun samples and any research or clinical studies that we do with Fosun in China, that we would enter into a formal contract with Fosun, which may include the licensing of one or more blood tests to Fosun for the China market. So a really interesting opportunity in China, and the opportunity to work with Fosun Diagnostics. We're focused principally this year, next year, and the year after, most likely on colorectal cancer and lung cancer. We have studies in colorectal cancer in the United States, Europe, and Asia, and we have studies in lung cancer in Asia. So we're focused on those two cancer types. Those two cancer types are typically the two deadliest cancers in most countries globally. Lung cancer tends to be the deadliest cancer in terms of killing the most number of citizens in a country each year, and colorectal cancer is often the second or third leading cause of cancer-related death in most countries. So we're focused on those two cancer types because they're huge opportunities, they're very deadly cancers, and they affect so many citizens globally. And there exist unmet medical needs or diagnostic opportunities for both of those cancer types that exist for us to produce and develop a blood test that would ideally aid in the diagnosis of these cancer types, get people screened earlier, and get them treated earlier, thereby improving outcomes for both of these two cancer types. The opportunities are huge. As I mentioned, lung cancer is usually, if not always, the deadliest cancer in most countries, so it tends to kill the most number of individuals in a given country each year. Colorectal cancer is often the second or third leading cause of cancer-related death in most countries, so the opportunities are really, really large. For instance, in the United States, 158,000 Americans die annually from lung cancer, 50,000 Americans die annually from colorectal cancer. For colorectal cancer, there are well over 100 million Americans of screening age in the United States for colorectal cancer, well over 150 million Europeans of screening age for colorectal cancer. So these are very, very large opportunities. And also for colorectal cancer, it's one of the cancer types that most countries screen for globally, and most countries screen all their citizens asymptomatically. That is, the trigger to get screened for colorectal cancer is age. So that means that these total addressable markets are really, really large for these two cancer types. In 2020, we expect to have a lot of clinical data with regard to our studies in colorectal cancer, lung cancer. So We hope to have data in colorectal cancer from our clinical studies in Europe. We hope to have results from both lung and colorectal cancer from studies in Taiwan at National Taiwan University. And we're also hopeful to have clinical results from our first non-human health application. We have an animal health application that we're working jointly with Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas, to develop a blood test to screen for cancer in canines or dogs. We hope to have some clinical data from the Texas A&M study or studies next year as well. So first half of 2020, we expect to have a lot of clinical data in animal health, lung cancer, colorectal cancer potentially, and we will then look to try and commercialize these products in late 2020 and as we move into 2021.